VJ Edgecombe was a guy that I sent all pre-draft that outside of the top two, he was arguably the third best prospect in this draft. And I was not expecting this kind of performance out of his NBA debut. Shout out Nick Nurse. As you guys know, I'm a big Nick Nurse fan. Rapture, one of the best autobiographies out there. Now, I bet you he got him the nurse pill and taught him how to shoot like a pro. And I always said that I think VJ's his own guy, but if I had to explain him to somebody, I was like, he's something in between Cason Wallace and Victor Oladipo. Like, he has some point guard skills and ball handling ability, but he's also like a freak athlete and can score from three and defend multiple positions. So he's a really exciting guy to watch. As I said, I think he's his own player. But this backcourt, the future, two timelines that they have going in Philadelphia, like if Joel Embiid is truly like back, or if he's not back, whatever happens there, whenever that does come to an end, and if they commit themselves to these young guys, I think it fits for the modern building of the NBA. Because in my opinion, let's just talk about it and explain it if you were watching last night. So the Sixers went up against the Boston Celtics. This game I actually went and watched it with my dad. Yeah. This was a game where Philly basically controlled the game except for the third quarter where they got beat up. But they were able to fight back in the fourth. And this was a night where it was Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. Joel Embiid had 4 points and 6 rebounds this game. And look, we're not going to talk about Joel Embiid. I do want to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm not a Sixers fan. So my whole view of the Joel Embiid situation is, if I would ride this out as the swan song season, regardless of the outcome, even if he's 100% healthy, if he's 100% healthy, I think that's the best case scenario, because then I would just try to trade him, because you'd be like, oh, he's healthy, and just get off of it. And if he isn't healthy, I think you just have to move on. But regardless of that, Tyrese Maxey is an all-star. Fringe all-NBA player. I also like Don Barlow. I think Don Barlow is an underrated player, and I think it's going to be a steal for them. He's been developing around the league over the last few years, so he's someone that I think has talent. Quentin Grimes had a bit of a quiet night shooting, but like he was efficient, except from the free throw line. But when he was out there, he was a positive. It was interesting because like most of the guys who played tonight would be VJ, Tyrese, Kelly Oubre, Don Barlow, and Quentin Grimes. Yeah, that was the most frequent lineup tonight. What I really like that Grimes, Edgecombe, Maxey trio, and I know what VJ 6'4", Quentin Grimes is like 6'5", Tyrese is like, I want to say 6'3" listed, but he's probably like 6'2". But that between those guys tonight, I think we saw the possibility. 13 threes from VJ, 9 threes from Tyrese, and 5 threes from Quentin Grimes. Yes, 27 threes between 3 dudes. And as a team, they took 40. So that's like 2/3 of your threes are just being generated by these guys. And I think VJ is huge. And the fact that he took 13 threes, hit 5 of them, 38.5%, great numbers. And the shot looked good. He's also a solid rebounder. He had 7 rebounds tonight. Didn't turn the ball over. And defensively, he was there and he was moving the rock, had a few assists. The team looked good with the young courts. Okay. I don't think the team looked good in the sense. Like, look, I think this team showed potentials to be better than people gave them credit. Like, there's still no Paul George, so we don't know what that's going to look like in year 2, a year older, but a year in the system. So there's that. But the fact that their 2 best players, only one of them played 20 minutes. And I know it's the Boston Celtics, but the Boston Celtics were legit trying. Like, it was a game. I wonder how long Andre Drummond will. I know they really did play Adam Bona, which Adam Bona and VJ Edgecombe in a lineup is kind of insane if you think about it. There's just so much athleticism. To me, the next step with VJ is probably seeing what other positions can he play. And what I mean is, will he run the second units? Like, I know they have Kyle Lowry, but still. Will you try having him go out and run the second unit, or do you think it's worth it? Like, to me, I think that's like an interesting part in all of that. So, what are your guys' thoughts if you made it to the end of this video? I'm going to spend the next minute just talking about the fact that, like, I think this is one of the situations where, let's just put it this way. If VJ has a career similar to Victor Oladipo, obviously without the knee injuries, Victor Oladipo is a guy who is a 2-time NBA All-Star, All-NBA third team, a 1-time All-NBA or All-Defensive first team, a most improved player in 2018, which 2018 would have been his, I think, 5th season. Steals leader, All-Rookie. Like, this is somebody, in my opinion, that has a really good resume, Victor Oladipo. And if in his career high was 23 points, 5 rebounds, 3.5 steals a game, 4.5 assists, like, those are really good numbers. And I think VJ can do that. I think it's interesting to see how certain players may or may not pan out, but VJ being a guy that I think has the ability to do even more than Victor, I think maybe has even a higher ceiling because he has the ball handling ability and the ability to create for others. And he's just a guy who will play his role. So that's my thought on it. Maybe it's a little bit like too nuanced, but I don't know. Also, I'm trying to see if 538 has the Victor Oladipo. Damn, yeah. VJ Edgecombe was a guy that I sent all pre-draft that outside of the top 2, he was arguably the 3rd best prospect in this draft. And I was not expecting this kind of performance out of his NBA debut. Shout out Nick Nurse. As you guys know, I'm a big Nick Nurse fan. Rapture, one of the best autobiographies out there. Now, I bet you he got him the Nurse pill and taught him how to shoot like a pro. And I always said that I think VJ's his own guy, but if I had to explain him to somebody, I was like, he's something in between Cason Wallace and Victor Oladipo. Like, he has some point guard skills and ball handling ability, but he's also like a freak athlete. and can score from three and defend multiple positions. So he's a really exciting guy to watch. As I said, I think he's his own player. But this backcourt, the future, two-time